Welcome to Live Smart. Good morning all. Who will cry when you die? Part 7. Chapters 61 to 70. 61. Read the artist's way. We are all creative beings. When I first saw The Artist's Way on the shelf of my favorite bookstore years ago, when I was still practicing law, I did not pick it up. At that time, I believed it was only for artists and that I would, therefore, not benefit from it. Over time, however, I realized that every single one of us has an almost limitless wellspring of creativity deep within us. And we all need to use this creativity on a daily basis to get the most from life, whether we are lawyers, homemakers, teachers, business executives, poets or musicians. The realization that I, as a lawyer, was a creative being created a whole new awareness for me. I started to attend seminars on creativity. I also read more books on the subject and searched for ways I could express this natural creativity to improve the way that I live personally, professionally, and spiritually. Eventually, my search led me to write my first book. Read The Artist's Way and have the self-discipline to go through each of the thoughtful exercises the author Julia Cameron suggests you do. Unlocking your creative spirit will fuel your upward path of self-discovery and make every single one of your days far more fulfilling. 62. Learn to meditate. The French mathematician Blaise Pascal wrote, "All man's miseries derive from not being able to sit quietly in a room alone." We have become experts at filling our lives with noise and activities. We wake up to the sound of the radio blaring and dress while the television news is on. We drive to work listening to the latest traffic report and spend the next 8 hours in a bustling office. When we come home, at the day's end, we delve into the evening's activities against the background sound of the television, ringing phones, and humming computers. Pascal was right. Most of our miseries do stem from the fact that we have lost sight of the importance of being silent, for even a short period, every day of our lives. Without the ability to concentrate, a full and complete life is not possible. If you lack the mental focus to stay with one activity for any length of time, you will never be able to achieve your goals, build your dreams, or enjoy life's process. Without a disciplined mind, trivial thoughts and worries will nag at you, and you will never have the capacity to immerse yourself in more meaningful pursuits. Without deep concentration, your mind will be your master rather than your servant. My own life changed the day I learned to meditate. Meditation is not some new age practice reserved for monks sitting atop mountains. On the contrary, meditation is an age-old technique that was developed by some of the world's wisest people to gain full control of the mind and, in doing so, to manifest its enormous potential for worthy pursuits. Meditation is a method to train your mind to function the way it was designed to function. And here is the key benefit: the peace and tranquility you will feel after 20 minutes of daily meditation will infuse every remaining minute of your day. You will be more patient in your relationships, more serene at the office, and more happy when you are alone. Meditation will make you a far better parent, life partner, business person, and friend. You cannot afford not to discover the power of this 5,000-year-old mind training discipline. 63. Have a living funeral. When I was doing research for the monk who sold his Ferrari, I came across the story of an Indian Maharaja who would engage in a bizarre morning ritual. Every day, immediately after waking up, he would celebrate his own funeral, complete with music and flowers. All the while, he would chant, "I have lived fully, I have lived fully, I have lived fully." When I first read this, I could not understand the purpose of this man's ritual. So I asked my father for some guidance. His reply was this: "Son, What this Maharaja is doing is connecting to his mortality every day of his life, so he will live each day as if it were his last. His ritual is a very wise one and reminds him of the fact that time slips through our hands like grains of sand, and the time to live life greatly is not tomorrow but today. While on his deathbed, Plato was asked by a friend to summarize his great life's work, the Dialogues. After much reflection, he replied in only 2 words, "Practice dying." The ancient thinkers had a saying that captured the point Plato made in other terms: death ought to be right there before the eyes of those who are young just as much as before the eyes of those who are very old. Every day, therefore, should be regulated as if it were the one that brings up the rear, the one that rounds out and completes our lives. Having a living funeral will reconnect you to the fact that time is a priceless commodity, and the best time to live a richer, wiser and more fulfilling life is now. 64. Stop complaining and start living. Stop complaining about having no time for yourself and get up an hour earlier. You have the option, why not exercise it? Stop complaining about not being able to exercise given all that is on your plate these days. If you sleep 7 hours a night and work 8 hours every day, you still have more than 63 hours of free time every week to do all the things you want to do. This amount to 252 hours every month and 3024 hours every single year to spend on life's pursuits. There has never been a more exciting time to be alive in the history of the world, and you have the choice to seize the boundless possibilities that every day presents. If you are not as fulfilled or as happy or as prosperous or as peaceful as you know you could be, stop blaming your parents or the economy or your boss and take full responsibility for your circumstances. This will be the first step to a completely new way of looking at your life and the starting point of a better way to live. As George Bernard Shaw said, the people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, make them. Make wiser choices about the thoughts you will allow to enter your mind, as well as the attitude you will bring to your days and the way you will spend the hours of your time. Stop complaining and start living. In the words of the poet Rudyard Kipling, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. 65. Increase your value. In the new economy you now find yourself in, you will be compensated not by how hard you work but by how much value you add to the world around you. Think about it. If you are currently being paid $20 an hour, this money is being given to you not simply because you showed up at your desk for those 60 minutes but because you have added $20 worth of perceived value during those 60 minutes. So, the monetary reward you receive is determined not by how long you work but by how much value you add. This is why a brain surgeon is paid so much more than a McDonald's employee. Is the brain surgeon a better person? Not necessarily. Is the brain surgeon smarter? Who knows? But one thing is certain, the brain surgeon has accumulated far more specialized knowledge and specific know-how than the McDonald's employee. There are far fewer people who can do what the brain surgeon does, and, as a result, the brain surgeon is perceived as far more valuable to the marketplace. This is why the brain surgeon is paid over 10 times more than the person who flips burgers. Money simply becomes a symbol for how much value each person has added to the world at large. So to be paid more money in your work, you must add more value to the world. And the best way to begin adding value to the world is to start becoming a more valuable person. Acquire skills no one else has. Read books no one else is reading. Think thoughts no one else is thinking. Or, to put it another way, you cannot have all that you want if you remain the person you are. To get more from life, you need to be more in life. 66. Be a better parent. The way you raise your children is the way you raise your future generations. Since few of us have had formal training in the fine art of parenting, most of us simply treat our children the way your parents treated us. We know of no other way to do it. Although being a parent is a great joy, it is also a privilege that involves tremendous responsibility. While I would do anything for my two children, that willingness is not enough. We need to develop the skills of excellent parents. We cannot just hope that the way we are raising our kids is the right way and pray that we will be lucky enough that they become thoughtful, caring, and wise adults. We must take the initiative to improve our parenting abilities by attending seminars, reading books, and listening to audiocassettes by the leading thinkers in this field. Then we must have the courage to keep trying to refine the ideas we learn in the laboratory of our own lives in order to find the parenting strategies that best suit our families. I know your life is busy and there is too much to do in too little time. But those miraculous years of your sons and daughters' childhoods will never come again. And if you do not devote the time and effort to becoming the best parent you know you can be, one day you will deeply regret the lost opportunity. As one father who attended a seminar I gave in Toronto said, when my son was growing up, he constantly asked me to give him piggyback rides. Though I knew how much he loved them, I was always too busy to play with him. I had reports to read or meetings to attend or calls to make. Now that he has grown up and left our home, I realized one thing. I would give anything in the world to give that little boy a piggyback ride. 67. Be unorthodox. Rousseau wrote, take the course opposite to custom. You will almost always do well. The brilliant ads for Apple computers inspire us to think different. Or as I tell audience at my leadership speeches, if you follow the crowd, the place you will most likely end up at is the exit. To live a richer, more rewarding life, it is essential that you run your own race. Stop being to the demands of social pressure at the expense of your uniqueness. When you study the lives of the world's most enlightened and effective people, you will see that they did not care about what other people thought of them. Rather than letting public opinion dictate their actions, they had the courage to let their hearts drive them. And in taking the road less traveled, they found success beyond their wildest dreams. One of the best quotations about the importance of being unorthodox comes from Christopher Morley, who said, read every day something no one else is reading. Think every day something no one else is thinking. It is bad for the mind to be always part of unanimity. And perhaps the very best one comes from immersion. It is easy in the world to live after the world's opinion. It is easy in solitude to live after our own. But the great man is he who in the midst of the crowd keeps with perfect sweetness the independence of solitude. Over the next month, rethink the way you do things. Don't just do things because everyone else does them. Do the things that are right for you. Being different for all the right reasons is a wise way to live. Just ask Einstein, Picasso, Galileo or Beethoven. 68. Carry a gold card. Time and time again, I have witnessed high-functioning, top-performing men and women carrying a little gold card in their wallets that they can review during the quieter moments of their day. The card simply lists their top life goals along with clear deadlines for achieving them. The discipline or reconnecting to your highest priorities, whether they are personal, professional or spiritual, is a smart one. Montaigne said, the great and glorious masterpiece of men is to live to the point. The wisdom of life so succinctly expressed. And yet most of us live our lives like one long air raid drill, filling our days with activities that seem important in the moment but that count for little in the overall scheme of our lives. As I wrote in Leadership Wisdom from the monk who sold his Ferrari, the person who tries to do everything ultimately accomplishes nothing. Having a goal card and coming back to it 3 or 4 times a day will keep your mind cantered on the things that truly count. It will foster the self-control you need to concentrate only on activities that advance your goals, give you the discipline to say no to all the rest and, in so doing, restore focus to your days. I promise you that if you spend your life focusing on only the worthiest pursuits, it is certain to end in complete joy. 69. Be more than your moods. For much of my life, I believed my thoughts were beyond my control. They just entered my mind automatically and did whatever they wished to do. Even worse, I believed that I was my thoughts. Thankfully, I discovered that nothing could be further from the truth. We are not our thoughts. Instead, we are the thinkers of our thoughts. We are the creators of the thoughts that flow through our minds and, given this fact, we can change our thoughts if we choose to do so. This seemingly obvious insight was an epiphany for me. I soon became far more aware of the thoughts I allowed into my mind and the inner dialogue that takes place within every one of us every waking hour of every living day. I began to pay complete attention to the quality of my thoughts. This awareness was the first step to changing them. Over a matter of months, I trained my mind to focus only on positive, inspiring, and enlightening thoughts. And in doing so, I saw the outer circumstances of my life change. Just as you are not your thoughts, you are not your moods. You are the creator of the moods you experience, moods that you can change in a single instant. If you choose to do so, you can feel peace in a moment of stress, joy in a time of sadness, and energy during a time of fatigue. 70. Savor the simple stuff. No one gets to take his possessions with him when he dies. I have yet to see a moving one following a hearse to a funeral. At the end of the day, the only thing we can take with us are our memories of all those great life experiences that had meaning to our lives. Given this, I would rather spend my days doing things that will leave me happy memories than collecting possessions. I have discovered that my best memories come from life's simplest things. The day my daughter Bianca learned to walk, my son Colby's first Christmas concert, where he spent more time waving to his proud dad in the audience than singing the assigned song, the day our family played soccer in the rain, and the evening we barbecued hot dogs under the full harvest moon. Dale Carnegie wrote, "One of the most tragic things I know about human nature is that all of us tend to put off living. We are all dreaming of some magical rose garden over the horizon instead of enjoying the roses that are blooming outside our windows today. Have the wisdom to savor the simple things. The wonderful memories that they bring will add more value to your life than any of the material toys we spend so much life energy pursuing." As Emma Goldman noted, "I'd rather have roses on my table than diamonds on my neck." Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.